Hello friends, James Stevenson back with another video, this time talking about Tesla losing EV market share and what that looks like. I will check in now with my co-host Loki, who is sleeping on the job at the moment and may continue to do so, but if he gets up you'll be able to see him in the Loki cam right down here below me. So here's a tweet that I sent out a few days ago. Tesla is selling more EVs in the US than the next 9 competitors combined so far this year. With a hat tip here to the person who provided the data, Amy at SF___Tahoe, who is nice enough to follow me. I follow Amy as well. And she listed the source as Experian, so I put that on my chart as well. Always a good idea to list your source. And I tagged Elon and Tesla, which is probably why this tweet has been viewed 1.6 million times and liked more than 10,000 times. So what's the chart say? Well, it's year-to-date February U.S. EV sales. What does this look like? You know, we know Tesla's number one, and we know number two is a long way behind. What's the magnitude of that? You can look at the numbers, you know, in a table or on a piece of paper or whatever, and it doesn't really give you a sense for comparative magnitude of numbers. That's what charts are good for. I'm going to click on this. Yay, it fills the screen exactly right. So year-to-date February U.S. EV sales, I put my watermark on here in case this image grows legs and walks around the internet by itself. So what do we have on our x-axis here? We've got 2022 as these bars and 2023 as these bars. Tesla gets its own bar. The number 2 through number 10 competitors get a combined stacked bar. And what you can see is that in 2022, Tesla sold, 50,000 more EVs than the next 9 competitors combined did. Then in 2023, it wasn't quite as extreme. So let's see here. 13, call that 14, 25, 32, 42, 64, less than 70,000 here, right? So combined for all these. Well, here's 71,188, right? So not only did Tesla sell more EVs in 2022 than the next 9 competitors combined, they also sold more in 2022 than the next 9 competitors combined did the following year. So, yeah, that's probably the best way of looking at it is, hey, they've still got a long ways to go to catch up to the 2022 Tesla sales number, but Tesla did increase sales by 24,700 vehicles year over year. That's a pretty good increase. But the competition combined increased by a greater percentage, right? This stack is more than double the height of this stack, and Tesla's stack isn't more than double the height that it was the prior year, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you Tesla is losing EV market share because the only things being charted here are EVs. So the haters, the short sellers, the Tesla trolls on Twitter and Seeking Alpha and elsewhere will point at this and laugh and say, haha, Tesla is losing EV market share. Tesla is doomed, therefore. That's their conclusion. The Tesla Q conclusion will always be Tesla is doomed, no matter what the data. But in this case, they're citing as their reason Tesla is doomed that Tesla is losing EV market share. Well, here's the number 2 selling competitor. They're at 14,000. So they grew from one of these numbers, all of which are less than 5,000, to this number, 14,000. That's still a long way back, right? That is still, you need a telescope to see who's in second place behind Tesla. This is a small number compared to this number, right? And if each of these competitors got their own bar instead of being stacked on top of each other, they would all be very short, is the point, right? So if you had to identify which competitor is closest to passing Tesla, you would have to conclude that none of them are. Like, none of them are anywhere close. So that's what's going on here. I made all these colors the same-ish. They're all shades of gray. This one's the brightest, and then they get darker as they go down the column. I don't care that these number labels are jumbled on top of each other. That's fine. Because it illustrates the point. Hey, there's there's very little else going on in the US EV market other than Tesla. Tesla's got a commanding lead, but their share of the overall market was a larger percentage here than it is here. So if it was 80% here, maybe it's 65% here, right? So? So? Still number one, still growing. When the haters say Tesla is losing EV market share, here's what that actually looks like. It doesn't look like losing. I mean, you can conclude a lot of things from looking at this chart, but you can't point at it and say, well, Tesla's losing. That's not what's going on. And Tesla year-to-date February sales grew year over year by more than the total number of EVs sold by the next 9 competitors combined over the same period last year. And this was the tweet that Elon replied to saying, you might want to consider enabling subscriptions for some of your work, or just so that people can thank you. I did not have subscriptions turned on Twitter before Elon sent this tweet, but I did apply for subscriptions that day and got approved the following day. So subscriptions on Twitter followed me to let me know that my subscriptions were up and available and I could tweet about it. And yeah, 1 subscriber, you can see here. And there's the tweet from Elon that I screenshotted. And Elon followed me after sending that tweet. So that is your update on Tesla losing EV market share. That is not the bad omen Tesla's critics believe it to be. And that's where I will wrap up my video. We'll check back in with Loki as we usually do at the end of these videos and see that he is still curled up and napping. And I will outro and say, if you enjoyed today's video, click the like button. Don't forget, it's free to do that, and it's free to subscribe to my channel over here. Click the notification bell if you want to be alerted whenever I post fresh content. And thank you to everyone who supports me, whether that's through Patreon or by subscribing to me through Twitter, as you just saw, or by joining my YouTube channel, as my executive producers Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com did at the highest support tier, earning them a thank you at the end of every video, and I'll see you in the next one.